What up? Talk that talk, George. It's the big dog, George White, the speaker. And you tuned in with the Real Life Street Stars. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, oh yeah, ring that bell. Make sure y'all watch this, because I'm talking that talk. Turn them up, George. Talk that talk. Turn them up, George. Big dog, pressure. Yeah, that's real.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Real Life Street Stars, man, we got a special situation in which we have George White, the speaker.
Big dog.
Talk that talk.
Talk that talk, George. Appreciate you for having me.
Man, so, you know, your story is one story of, because I don't know your full story, but I know from what you just said as far as your attempt to change your life and getting out of your own way. Before we even get started about your story, motivational speaking, I feel, is right now more important than ever. You know, you see people like Charlamagne the God who's promoting mental health. You see people, you know, let's say like Trump Shooter, the young dude, where a lot of people are battling mental health. And that word is becoming taboo right now, to where we're not taboo, but it's becoming in the forefront where we're speaking on mental health, go to therapy. You know, our people of our color, you know, growing up, you never heard of a counselor or therapy. Only time you heard of it is like when your marriage is in shambles. That's when you think of, oh, we need therapy. But just a person dealing with, just go by yourself, talking to someone, you kind of hear more of that now. And motivational speaking has become a lot of people's therapy. One of my partners, man, his name is Rook. He wakes up and may put you on, or those like you as well, to just get motivation for the day, just to get words of affirmation and kind of go from there, because some people maybe didn't have fathers or mothers. So I don't want to keep going. With that being said, reintroduce yourself, tell them what it is you do, and then we're going to get into just a conversation.
No problem, man. You know, I go by George White, the speaker, known as Talk That Talk, George, a big dog. You know, I started this journey back in 2018. When God called you to something, you can't turn around, man. You got to push forward. You got to keep going. You know, being a speaker not easy, because who's going to motivate the motivators?
Correct.
And that's why it's imperative. I tell people, have a gift of discernment and make sure you fast and make sure you allow God to guide your step. And don't be conformed to the word, but be transformed by renewing of the mind.
Correct. Where are you from?
From East Texas, Palestine.
Palestine. You know, I got family in Palestine. My stepdad, the Inges, I don't know if you know him, the E-N-J-E.
The Inges, I might, you know, Palestine.
Palestine is small.
Everybody kinfolk, exactly.
It's a big loop. It's a big loop. It's small, but it's big.
Yeah.
But I definitely got family in Palestine. With that being said, for you to become what you are in 2018, were you at a low in your life, or were you just saying, I'm going to just, what made you pick it up as far as motivational speaking?
You know, I wasn't in my low at the time. I feel like, you know, that God Ben called me to it. He would prune me for it. He would take me through the corporate office job to prepare me and mold me to be a speaker. You know, I always thought my life was going to be, make it out as in football in high school. But God said, I got a different route for you. And just to have a wife that pushed me, you know, encouraged me, who believed me, say, you got this. So in 2018, I said, you know what? I'm going to buy a camera, buy a backdrop, and I took off with it. But I ain't touched a stage until 4 or 5 years later. It's the process. A lot of people, they talk about the grind, but they don't want the grind. They don't want to see the grind. And, you know, nothing come easy, but it was worth it.
Was there someone that you looked up to in this world, in this realm, prior to you getting started?
Oh, yeah. Man, I watched everybody. Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, Zig Ziglar. You know, to perfect your craft, you got to watch the GOATs. You know, you got to watch the people who've been doing it for a long period of time. My brother, Trent Shelton. And I just watched they did, put a little in my arsenal, and became who I am, the big dog.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so I have to ask, because your motivational speeches have reached, I've seen on the Breakfast Club. I've seen Steve Harvey, the Steve Harvey Morning Show. They put you out there. Can you name some other people that may have either reached out to you that have been affected by your speeches, just to either DM you or just to even just say, man, keep going, dog?
You know, humbly speak, I'm thankful. You know, to be on Breakfast Club, to be had Steve Harvey speak about me, like I'm the work paying off. You know, I know Dwayne Johnson. He reached out to me like, big dog. I appreciate the video. You must felt my spirit. He reached out to me.
You talking about The Rock?
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson,
Yeah,
The Rock.
yeah. You gotta let
The
the kids
Rock,
know.
the big dog Rock.
Yeah,
he reached
come
out
on,
to
man.
me. Man, so many people reached out to me. I know Joel Santana. Shout out to my boy OG3. I'm missing a lot of more people, man. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm thankful, like I say, but I'm not really infatuated with it. You know, I'm just thankful that I'm doing my job. So if I'm missing a lot of people, my apology, man. I know everybody reached out to me, but my main thing is if I can reach one person, hey, I'm doing my thing, man. So.
And speaking of reaching people, you have amassed a major following so quickly. Can you just go down the numbers of your following as far as just from 2018 starting and just getting traction after COVID? What is your following now?
So Instagram, I'm at 571,000. TikTok, I'm at 523,000. YouTube, I'm at probably almost 18,000 subscribers. Facebook, I'm at 33,000. It's just, man, it's the grind. Like, I get emotional, man. Just people don't understand the work. When God chose, that's why I made a video, man. It touched the world. It's the one Steve Harvey like. I'm like, God chose you. So you're going to have to fight more. You're going to have to do more. You're going to have to overcome more. But you're going to receive more. You're going to receive more. You who your bloodline been waiting for. And God chose you because he know he can trust you. He know you'll keep faith when things go bad. He know that you won't retaliate when people do evil against you. You know that you won't be conformed to this world, but you be transformed by the renewing of your mind because you chosen. Man, I wake up to that, man. I listen, and this is the most humble way. You know, a lot of people might say it's arrogant. You're only arrogant when you affect their insecurity. But when I listen to myself, I feel it because it's not my voice. The Holy Spirit radiate through me. It's God radiate through me. So just to see everybody reach out to me like, big dog, you saved me. I had some cats that got out of penitentiary. He said, man, I got a penitentiary. I listen to you every day. You stopped me from taking penitentiary chances. I'm not trying to go back, man. I'm trying to raise my kids, my family. I see, that's when I say being a big dog means standing on business, standing on principle. That's why I'm able to talk this talk. My faith is on that level. I know what I can do. I know I can penetrate hearts.
What made you pull out that catchphrase, talk that talk, George? Can you go deeper into that? Or even the you know, what made you pull those in?
Be honest with you, I made a video one time and I said, talk that talk, George. And my brother reached out to me like, man, keep saying that. That's catchy. And I kept pushing. And you know, a lot of people say I sound like Kevin Gates. You know, I guess it's a Southern thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see it now. I can see it.
Big dog, talk that talk, George. So I don't know, man. I did it one time. I kept doing it. Now I branded myself.
Yeah, it's branding 101. I mean,
yes, sir.
Repetition and consistency.
Exactly.
Man, that's amazing. So let's go and get into it because, and again, I'm gonna circle back to your story, how you got to this point. But as you move around through the day, and I want to first and foremost shout out More Lex because she came through. You know, y'all know her for going viral with the kids and CPS, and you know, she's here in the studio right now. So to see you even just be able to speak to her and you know, bringing that emotion just from speaking and again affirmation for you, how many people do you see or walk to that are broken that wear it on their sleeve or hide it? They don't display it, they don't wear it on their sleeve.
You know, a lot of people who broken sometimes realize they broken because they became numb. You know, people pray for pain to subside, but pain don't subside if you keep entertaining. You know, you're gonna go through some storms. There's gonna be trials and error. But I would tell people if it didn't make you, then damn sure it can't break you. God, pardon my French, but it can't break you. So when I see a lot of people going, like my wife had her first child at 15 years old, man.
Oh, wow.
She from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She wasn't supposed to get married. She wasn't supposed to, where I'm from them trenches. I'm from the project.
That story doesn't turn out like that.
It doesn't. When you have a child 15-year-old, grandma got the kids. Or your auntie got the kids. Your mama got the kids. So when my wife had her first child at 15-year-old, she kept pushing, kept trucking. And she told me one time somebody in Pittsburgh said, your husband in Texas. And she came from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, all the way to Texas. Some people are afraid to leave that county. Better yet, the state.
Facts.
And her husband found her and said, listen, when you put yourself in a position to be found, When you want something, when you manifest it, it's yours. I tell people, depression, anxiety is not real. It only become real when you give it a home. Pain, when you give it a home. My father passed. I was in Houston, Texas, man. May 6th, 2023. I was doing my Talk That Talk tour. I haven't seen my father since 2009, and I'm named after him. You feel me? And I arrived there Friday. Me and my manager at the time got a text from my uncle. His name George too. You know how we doing the text? Everybody the same name.
Yeah, everybody gonna get the George.
And he was like, your father in the hospital right now with stage 4 cancer. Wow. I had to speak the next day. That's adversity we're going through. Yeah. That trials and error right there we're going through. So I went to the hospital. See him laying on his deathbed because that's it. And my mind just going. I'm feeling the pain. I'm feeling grief. Yeah. I remember what God called me to be. It's okay to feel like that in that moment, but don't sit there and mourn in it. Don't sit there and let that affect you for the rest of your life because you got a purpose. Once you live on purpose, when you start living in your purpose. A lot of people don't live on purpose. So the next day I had to speak in that Saturday, and I had people who came from New York, New Orleans, people flying everywhere just to see the big dog. And me penetrate everybody's spirit that was in there. That's God. So when I say when people who feel pain, those who going through what they went through, childhood trauma, wherever it might be, you got to go to the main source. It's God. Once you learn how to utilize your resources, that's when you get to the main source. Utilize your resources. It's going to counseling, seeking therapy, putting yourself around people who don't drain you, but who feed your spirit. Doing Bible study. That will help you get to the main source. Confession. Confession is the best medicine. It may take nasty leaving the tongue, but it's good for the spirit. Detox. Sometimes we gotta get that detox in.
Correct.
And that's how I became a big dog, man, and it helped people get to the next level.
Let me ask you, were you always a good speaker growing up as a child? Did you just being able to speak?
So, not really. Like I said, I came from the trench. I spoke with street term, colloquialism. We grew up like that. It's not until I met my wife and started working in a corporate office where I improved on my speaking. I was very intentional. I started being intentional with myself. I started believing in myself. And working in a corporate office really molded me and become a better speaker. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to sound corporate. I want to be me. And that's when I took off in 2022 with this, where I was like, you know what? I'm going to speak to those who feel me. Those who get it, get it. Those who don't, but the rhythm's going to feel me. And I don't want to just reach a certain group of people. I want to reach everybody. So one minute I'm talking that talk, one minute I'm speaking to your soul. Either way, you're going to get this word. You're going to get this word.
How was it utilizing this? How important is the social media platforms for you to get to this point right now? Because, social media wasn't a thing 20 years ago.
It wasn't.
But to have it now.
I think it's important, especially after COVID. A lot of people on their phone constantly. I didn't take the traditional route. I went the social route. I went God route to be a speaker. Things changed in the last 12 years, 10 years. Inky Johnson did it this way. Trent Shelton did it this way. Eric Thomas did it this way. Les Brown. I just went the social route. And I feel like you can reach more people when you do it through the social way. And cause a lot of people driving to work, laying in their bed or working out. They want something that's gonna motivate them, inspire them. I don't really like calling myself a motivation speaker because motivation can only last for 5 minutes, but transformation can last for a lifetime.
Come on, man. Oh, man, that's why, just the speaker, because it can go a different way. For your religious background, again, you religion is a big part of it. Mm-hmm. What is your religious history as far as, and what's your denomination, if you don't mind me asking?
I really, I'm a Christian. I don't like giving myself title. I didn't find Christ until the age of 21. See, a lot of people don't know, like, dang, man, you're a powerful speaker. You're really a big dog. They don't know that I battled with alcoholism when I was in college. They ain't know that I used to be in the streets. They ain't know I used to, be in the club fighting. I became a product of my environment, got kicked out of college. I was supposed to go to TJC for 1 year and transfer my scholarship to Texas Southern University. But I got kicked out after 1 year. When you don't got that proper structure, like in the Black community, your household, you don't have a 2-parent household. A lot of people, mama raised you, grandma raised you or whatever. And me and my brother and my sister, I'm the youngest out of 3. You learn a lot from the street. You learn a lot from the street. You learn a lot from what they do. So you lose yourself in the process trying to gain yourself. If that makes sense.
Yes, correct. It does.
And sometimes when you fall off, this word force you to shake back, man. And the only way you can shake back is finding Christ.
Oof. What would you say to the non-believers and the atheists out there? They're it's crazy because atheism is getting more traction than it ever has, ever. Like now, I don't know why, but people are kind of falling back from religion in a lot of things. But what would you say to that person that will tell you, man, I don't believe in that?
I don't judge them. I just show up with Christ with me and the Holy Spirit. See, a lot of people want to peer pressure people who are atheists or who don't have a relationship with God. Not everybody who stands in the pulpit is holy. I don't judge. I just try to represent best as possible. My testimony gonna speak for me. And those who are atheists who don't have no type of religion, sometimes they went through some things. Right. We got to empathize and sympathize with our brothers and sisters when they're going through some things. So I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna show you what God about.
Yeah.
In my action, people talk a good game, but they don't stand on it.
Yeah, that's some of the realest. For those that, like you said, they come from all over. You mentioned that a man walked from Florida to where to come here?
I had a meet and greet in Atlanta, Georgia. And I remember when I was up there, my security guard, which my partner, Lawrence, we were shooting the ones and twos while everybody else would come and take their picture and this and the third. And this one guy came with a basket and he was like, George. So my security like, hold on. He said, I want to talk to George. I was like, what up, big dog? He said, God called me here. He said he walked all the way from Florida to Atlanta because God have him on a mission trip to see me. That alone, man, like, you have to give God glory, man. This knowing that you didn't have that growing up and you so much for everybody in this world. This man walked from Florida to Atlanta. He was determined. And he obedient. And that's why I say obedience is greater than sacrifice. He was obedient to God calling. A lot of people say, man, I'm not reaping the harvest. I made all these sacrifices, but you ain't had no discipline. You ain't had no obedience.
Correct, man. Can you tell us some other stories that, I know you touched a lot of people. Mm-hmm. There's people that you touch, you don't even know you touch, but you might get a story in a DM. You might get a story in the comment section. You might meet somebody at one of these functions. Is there a story that really kind of touched your heart as far as, maybe they were just somebody going through something that was like, wow.
To be honest with you, man, the cat walking from Florida all the way to Georgia, that was one of them. Man, I have so many. I'm mostly shocked about the story. It's the courage that had to come up to me and tell me. So if I'm speaking in Atlanta, if I'm in Memphis, wherever I travel to speak, Ole Miss, those who come up like, big dog, man, you saved my life, man. Like, oh, I listen to you every morning. Like, I had this going on, but man, when I put on that Talk album, volume 2, or I put on this album, or I go to your Instagram, like people don't really understand, like that really motivates me. That really like, dang, I just gotta give glory to the Most High, man. God could have chose anybody, but he chose this body to reach everybody. So I gotta turn them up.
Gotta turn them up, man. Let me ask you, when it comes to Hollywood, there's always, we watch black movies. There's always that one movie that gives a motivational speech that just kind of moves you. Do you have one that like resonates with you? Maybe, like let's say, like Boys in the Hood, where Lawrence Fishburne talking to his son. You got, you got Denzel on Fences talking to his son. You got these. It's like, man, sometimes is there a movie that you ever seen that like one of the speeches really like, man, I could take that with me every day.
Definitely Boys in the Hood and Denzel and Fences, but I watch all those movies. But recently, like in the last couple of years, my wife would tell you, I watch the same movie over and over, which is Equalizer. And he said, you gotta be who you are in this world. And the way Denzel had that dog, see, I like that dog mentality. And like, he's smooth with it. Denzel, man, he's so smooth, you don't know what he about to do. And the way he talking, like in Equalizer 2, you're like, okay, it's 5 pounds. It's hard to take 5 pounds of pressure. He had that gun to, hey, you want to be a thug? Here, shoot me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, one person I would love to meet is Denzel. Yeah. I would just pick his brain. Like the knowledge, the wisdom that the Most High provided him, man, that Man, why see, I'm infatuated with it, man. That's one person I'd like to meet, man.
Yeah, no, his Denzel, watching him on like Good Morning America, just whenever he's promoting a movie, he'll start dropping gems that you'd be like, damn. I think him, Will Smith.
Oh, Will Smith.
He'll drop gems out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's just if you were like, just to question yourself. Did you see the latest one, Will Smith? I think he did one where he was sitting with Martin on Bad Boys 4 tour, where he was just basically explaining, I mean, it wasn't even with that one. It was right before that one. But he started explaining like he's attained everything in life. He had like when you could buy everything, what makes you happy, what motivates you. And if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna turn it to a question. When a young man is like 18, he's about to, the world is his oyster. He's young, he's in high school, about to go off and be the world. What motivation would you give a young 18-year-old kid out the hood, who's supposed to not really, he's a statistic, like you're not supposed to make it out the inner city. Your grades weren't that good. You're barely passing, but you're gonna graduate. Can you give him a little motivation? Like if you were to talk to him, man, maybe look at the camera, just talk to that young man.
Listen, to my young brothers, I dare you to be different. I dare you to be something that your bloodline wasn't. You who your bloodline been waiting for. It's not what happening to you, it's what happening for you. You ain't gotta be like the next cat. You don't gotta be in them trenches. You don't got always have to have that big dog in you, which will allow you to do something where you can't take back. Don't take penitentiary chances. Do what you love, not what the world wants you to be, straight up. And it's the big dog talking to you. I was in your shoes. I've been in your shoes. And it wasn't for the grace of God, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be the big dog. I wouldn't be able to talk that talk. You gotta understand that you got that power. It's not what's on you. It's what's in you. You don't have to gangbang. You don't have to sell drugs. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to do none of them things. Be you. One of the greatest things you can do in life right now, after giving your life to Christ, is being intentional. When you wake up in the morning, don't do nothing else. Say your prayers and go into that mirror and talk to yourself. You affirm yourself. A lot of people want to give up in life. You're built to last, not to be last. And that's coming from a big speaker, big dog.
Man, that's amazing. God, if I want to hold the mic, I clap it. That's amazing. Now, it's crazy because, you watch a Boys in the Hood. And I forgot, and shout out Cuba Gooding Jr. We got his brother going to come in a couple of days, sit down with us.
Okay.
But you see Cuba Gooding in that car.
Yeah.
About to go ride on some dudes, and like, he's mad. He wants to exact revenge, but something in his head, like his conscience told him, man, get out this car, man. Hey, Doughboy, stop the car.
But you realize in life, is that 5 cats, is always that one that's different.
Yeah.
But he just following along. That's why I say it's imperative. We need a 2-parent household. You got a lot of single moms out here. She can't raise a man. You can't teach them how to be a man. So what you gonna do? I was that cat in somebody's backseat. I was in 9th grade. My brother in 12th. His partners in the grade ahead of him. I'm chilling, kicking with them. I'm smoking and doing everything they doing. I'm in the studio late night in the 9th grade doing the same thing they doing. So I don't fault the next man. I don't blame the next man. I want to set an example. Could be more cats after me, after them to do the same thing. When one reach, one teach. And that's what I'm about. If I can, hey young blood, I'll let you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna talk at them, I'm gonna talk with them. I'm gonna show them love, I'm gonna show them compassion. A lot of cats think it's soft to show empathy and sympathy. No. A lot of cats want to be big dog because they never had nobody being compassionate with them before. And that's why they don't know how to date, they don't know how to court, they don't know how to handle a woman because they got too much pain in them. So they got to remove that to become better, man. And that's why I say that when one reach, one teach. And I can teach this young cat, he can go teach the next cat. We're gonna save 3 or 4 generations because the sins of the father get passed down to 3rd or 4th generation.
That's real. Speaking of fathers, we had Pimpin' Kenny here, and he was kind of reaching the same statement. He's like, a woman cannot raise a man because his reasoning was, and it goes back to the big dog mentality. His reason was because a woman's voice could never have that tone that a man can have when it comes to, I don't want to say punishing, but just asserting, just assertion. You're like, hey, go wash them dishes. It's just good to have a man. How important is that, as you stated, to have a 2-parent household, even if the relation don't work, co-parenting correctly?
Exactly, yes. Because right now I have 3 kids. I have a 21-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, and I have an 8-year-old. The 21-year-old and the 12-year-old, not mine by blood, but I've been in their life since the last 10 years, and they call me dad. And you can see the difference, like when having that male present, show them and teach them. I'm gonna tell you another thing. A lot of people say, I'm a father. It's different between being a father and being active. Can they come to you when they want to come to you? Are you there? Man, I ain't had no partners in 10 years. My main focus been God, my wife, and my kids. Nothing else matter. Because the thing is, I used to long for that. When my son called me dad, my daughter called me dad, it hit me different because I wanted the same thing. You know, you named out your father, you don't really got that relationship, make you feel some type of way. I had to let go so I can grow. I was the one who hurt cats back in the day, like, damn, they want to be with my pops. I want to be, I'm named up to him. But I don't fault my father because you never know what he been through. You know, a lot of people like, man, my daddy with my life, he did this and this. Hey, spare him because you never know what they've been through. Show them some grace. You know, those who I sin cast the first stone. So I had to adapt that mentality, like, okay, I got the same name, but he never healed from the trauma. But I did. So I had to teach my boys how to be stand-up guys. And not saying, when I say stand-up guys, they not gonna make no mistakes. They not gonna do wrong. But they know how to bounce back when they do wrong. And sometimes when you got that father, with that active father, he'll teach your boys, like, if you make this mistake, sometimes it takes 20 years to shake back from it.
Correct.
It can take one mistake.
Man.
You know?
You got to be able to, it's funny because when young men make mistakes, they really think like sometimes it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I always tell people, kids can, look at their parents and say, hey, I actually want to do right because I don't want to hurt my parents. So with that being said, you mentioned your father. What was your father? Was he in your life or?
In and out. In my younger years, he came around just as, I think around my, 7th, 8th grade, that's when it started to decline.
Okay. But what did that do for you as a young man? Like, did you care at the time?
Yeah. Man, let me tell you something. Man, my dad was my hero growing up, out of me, my brother, my sister. Like, I remember, I think I probably in 3rd grade, my father was supposed to come get us. He called mom the next day. So I'm outside sitting on the step for 5 hours, 6 hours. My brother and sister, they back playing. They knew what's up, but I had that belief. I was waiting for him. And when he didn't show up, man, it just create this narrative in my mind, like it's gonna be like an ongoing thing. It is what life is. I was one of them cats I was to live inside my had different imaginary, like I was imagining how my life can be or whatever. I was a fantasize by certain things. And I believe when you get older, especially living in the ghetto, you start to realize what's reality, and you ain't the only one. Dude, your partner next door, his dad ain't there. Old girl next door, her dad ain't there. So you just go with the motion. But I'm gonna say this here, I'm gonna speak on this for the guys, man. Like, when I met my wife, I was emotionally numb. And I didn't know how numb I was until I had to realize and sit back like, dang, you don't feel nothing. And I want to break that. That's a generation. I want to break them curses. I want to bind them spirits. I want to sit back to the pit of hell because I don't want to project my pain and my energy on my kids, I don't want to project my pain and energy on the next person. I used to be commitment shy before I met my wife. My high school sweetheart, she didn't want to introduce me to Christ, her mom. And me, I was just like my father. I was just like him, commitment was one of the hardest things that I struggled with because I didn't trust people. I'm like, man, if the person I'm named after him don't show up when I need him, how can I trust the next cat? But I can't get somebody else burdened to somebody else. So I had to create understanding as I got older and realized that, hey, you got to shake back because if you're not, you're going to be another dying soul that's living straight up.
It's real. Should men cry in front of women?
Oh, yeah.
I argue that point to say, like, if a man cries in front of a woman, she will later use that against him. Maybe, that's horrible of a woman, but I always had that thought in my head, like, if you show that you're weak in front of a woman, later she will use that against you, that you crying. It's just in my thoughts. But from what you're saying, a man should, like, let me say this, like something happens, partner get hurt or something, and the man that hits him, or some he has a memory about something, and he starts to cry.
Two things.
Should he cry? Because I always feel like if you go boo-hooing in front of your girl, it's gonna look away.
Most women love man. Two things. Women love man who can show their emotion and who can't control their emotion. You know, a lot of cats get emotional and be abusive, but a woman wants somebody who can open up to them. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got my wife. I didn't cry. I would tell you, I was numb until she brought it to my attention. If I'm gonna call her my wife, I want her to have all of me, not just a little bit. When you get married, you become one. He said, so I tell a lot of cats, it's imperative that you learn how to date, court, then marry. Don't jump into a situation where nobody want this woman will allow you to be you, allow you to express yourself. Because if you go, we all gonna go through something. What you supposed to do? Go sit in the car and cry?
I mean, yeah.
Oh man, you supposed to be my help me. Like you.
All right, so let me a scenario.
Yeah.
All right, you and your girl at home, y'all watching Bambi, or not go Bambi. Let's say Titanic.
Yeah.
Watching Titanic, it gets to the end. For some reason, you just get emotional, you start crying. Should you be like, let me grab you, hold you, start crying? I mean, how do you handle that? Like,
if the dude crying?
This dude, female ain't even crying, dude crying.
Nah, that's different. No offense. Me personally, everybody's different. I'm not judging next man with this and the third, but I'm saying like on some real life stuff, not no movie stuff.
Yeah.
But
no, when I say this is real life, like, if a man's emotional watching Fences and he starts getting teary-eyed.
It got meaning behind it because that's different because you never know. He could experience the same thing growing up.
Exactly.
So I respect that, but like watching Bambi or something, that totally, I can't agree with that,
No, it's crazy because Mother Paul, he kind of, like you said, control your emotions. It's cool to tear up.
Yeah.
It's cool to tear up.
Oh yeah.
And this is again, we're speaking as men. To start boo-hooing, like, when you just don't control, you need a pillow and your face in the pillow. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you should let them emotions ring out.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts as far as with women? Some women feel like men are emotionally numb, where they can't talk to them about things. Well, should men be more open?
This is my topic. I'm a relationship guru too. Let me tell you something.
Let's go.
And my wife is a strong woman. A lot of people can benefit from what she have, the experience she have. But I'll tell you this here. My wife allowed me, it took work, but she allowed me to express, to open up. A man gonna lie. Let me tell you this. A lot of dudes lie to their girl because that woman don't give him room to be honest. Once a man lie one time, he gonna continue to lie. But who are you as a woman? What are you doing to be great for that man? Because as a man himself, we gotta be a provider, protector. We gotta be this. We gotta be this. And the only thing we ask for peace, solitude. Because a man, just because we're not speaking all the time doesn't mean we're mad. We just gathering our thoughts. We've been fighting with the world all day. Our home probably be our sacred place. It probably be a place where we got peace. But a lot of people are in relationship right now. It's a good percentage of people that's in relationship have never experienced peace. They don't know peace is, but they know what toxic is. And a lot of people, they're saying like, I love toxic. You gotta be a little toxic. You love toxic because you grew up in toxic household when you were younger. We gotta change that format because I'm getting tired of seeing divorce rate high, and I'm getting tired of seeing our people who either getting divorced or not even getting married. What's the reason? Nobody want to put the work in. Nobody want to be intentional. You can't walk across somebody right now. A lot of people in 15, 20-year relationship with no ring. Are you not that worthy of yourself as a lady, as a woman? Do you not value and pride yourself of who you are? Proverbs 31 woman? Know who you are so somebody can tell you who you're not. Two things when it comes to dating. Don't date off potential. Date off requirement. Because you can look at somebody like, oh man, they got potential. And when they don't meet their potential, now you pissed, now you mad. But if you date off a requirement, y'all dating, y'all courting, you at dinner or whatever, and you tell this man like, hey, these is my requirement, X, Y, and Z. Two things gonna happen. That man gonna work that much harder to meet your requirement or they gonna flee. Don't settle. Second thing is, I wanna tell all the ladies as well, and a lot of guys call it being a simp. No, it's protecting our women out here. Just because a woman had a child doesn't mean she not wife material. Because a lot of people, oh man, she got a child, she got 2 kids. That's cool. There's a lot of women with no kids can't match up to the woman who got kids.
Yeah, it shows nurture. I mean, she take care of the kids. I mean,
There you
so
go.
you need nurturing in your life.
There you go.
Let me ask you, because Carlos Miller came in,
Okay.
and he had said, he don't know why people get married. He says most people that he see, he's in Hollywood, he see they're just dating and they're happy as hell. He said it'd be the married couples that seem like they're upset and angry.
Where his location was at?
He's in Atlanta, but he was here when he did the interview. But he's in Atlanta, 85 South Show and all that. Shout out 85 South Show. But he's in Atlanta. So he's like most happy, just the way it looks. When you see people happy, they're just dating. Jonathan Majors and, whatever. He said the married couples is the ones he see be like kind of fucked up.
Listen, you can portray anything on video.
Yeah.
What's happening in the household? I'm not speaking about nobody specifically. Like, everybody had their own takes on marriage or not. I know me. I'm more happy to having a significant other who understand me. Like, this is my partner. She might ride or die.
Did you want to marry her, or she wants to marry you?
Let me tell you this, and this no make believe. I met my wife in June. The first day I met her, like I said, I wasn't a committed type person, but I tell you, it's something that's the spirit felt that I like, man, she the one. I told her I'll make her my wife. I met her in June, proposed to her in August, and we got married a year later in Ocho Rio, and we've been rocking ever since. Through the good, bad, and maybe. Nothing, we didn't fold. Since 2020, we've been around each other every day.
Yeah.
Most cats can't be around their woman every day.
Right. The fact that you said, it's me, my wife, and God. Like, I'm not worried about partners. I'm just worried about, man. So
Yo, later, I'll tell my oldest son, he get ready to go to college in Corsa County. I said, let me tell you something. The really person gonna be on your team is your girl. I'm telling you. When you find the right one, because your partner, two things good, now everybody is solid. Now everybody got the same principle as you. That's why it's the most imperative for the young cats to know. Quit following people. You be the leader. But before you can lead, you must follow somebody who have great work ethic and somebody who got a great set of skills for somebody you can mimic to become better.
Yeah.
Because every young boy look for somebody to follow. Sure. No, who teach the young cats how to be fathers? Who teach the young cats how to be husbands? A lot of these cats don't know how to be husbands because they were never taught how to be a father. There's no rule book to being a parent. Don't get me wrong. But nobody ever came to me and said, hey, these are the two or three things to be a better man, be a better father. X, Y, and Z. Find God. Be intentional. Know who you are. If these young cats know this, they're like, okay. A lot of these cats don't like being married or like being in a relationship because they impulsive. They have no control. I used to be that guy. I'm telling you, I used to be that guy. I had no control. Yes. And I want to better for myself. And if I can control myself and be better for myself, that means I'm being intentional for myself. Then I can be the best husband, the best father I can be because I got myself right. Yeah. So,
did you get married to for religious purposes or just to lock her down so she's off the market? I'm just curious in the mindset.
Discernment. God told me she's the one. God told me she's the one. And, everybody believes it get different. Some people don't believe in God give people vision, discernment. I know who I am. I ain't got to you'll see. You can watch my videos. Yeah. You can see it. I don't change for nobody. I keep it straight a buck. But I just want to. Most guys, you ain't the first person to ask me that. A lot of cats ask me like, man, how does it feel to be married? Is it hard? I said, going to work can be hard. You don't feel like getting up in the morning. Doing other things can be hard. You just got to put the work in.
Facts. Michael Collier, Showboat from House Party 3. His interview's not out yet, but it's coming. Okay. But he sat down on this interview. I want you to watch it because he's on his third marriage. He just got married, he said, 285 days ago.
Okay.
And his wife is on her, I believe, third marriage. And, he's, I believe, in the 60s. But he said this is the happiest he's ever been. Like, do you feel like you may not, and this is not for you, but just in general, that it's okay to give a go at it? And if it don't work, do you believe in divorce?
I don't believe in divorce. But I don't judge those who do, go through divorce. I say this here. That's something you got to take up with the Most High. I'm not going to judge you. Like I say, those without sin cast the first stone. Some people don't get it right the first time. Some people don't get it right the second time. Some people get it right the third time. And that's with anything. Job, school, being a son, being a daughter, being a mom, being a dad. A lot of people don't get it right the first time. And life about choices and lessons. I tell people, look, this is why it's imperative. If you read like David in the Bible, he could have killed Saul, but Saul was chosen. God chose him. He said, look, I got the cloth right here. I was this close to I could have killed you. Then after he became king, he created adultery. He allowed his man to get, he's basically put a hit on his man. You know what I'm saying? Can we judge him? He was the chosen one. No sin is greater than the other, so you can't really fault. I'm using that as a way where a lot of people always want to find something that's wrong with somebody. The same people who does that don't never look in the mirror. Like, I'm not gonna let you my brother, you my sister. We gonna work through this. That's why, like, when they got me divorced of motivation, because I'm about solution. Let's find answers.
There you go.
You know?
There you go. You've been through life now, married now. I'm curious on your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
At what age should a man get married?
When
Knowing men, like, do you feel like he should get married fresh out of high school, fresh out of college? Do you feel it should be time that he puts into himself, or, you know, because it seems like a lot of people make mistakes early on to where I see a lot of younger couples getting divorced, 22 divorce. I'm like, 22 divorce? That's when you're supposed to be trying to maybe find in love. But go ahead, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, a person's mind not fully developed to the age of 25. So as a man, I say, you know, find yourself. Understand, like, what you desire. Like, get yourself together. If I can go back and change some things, I would. I would have had established myself in a better way. Get yourself established. Focus on what your heart desire. Go travel. Go see the world. You know, I don't put a time limit on anything, because love is love. You know, you find it when it finds you. But I wouldn't agree to get married at an early age, because you need to go through some things to learn how to lead.
Yes, sir.
You know, a lot of people on job training, sometimes they get married early. They learn it in the process. That's cool. But if you have the opportunity to learn and do everything the right way and the right proper time, you're gonna learn more about yourself, so you can have patience with somebody else. Because right now, people, they struggle with patience. Soon as somebody get on their nerve, they gotta go. They need a drink, or they got whatever. So it's gonna teach you patience as a man.
Yeah, I always say, you know, whenever someone gets married and they have the thought of divorce, like, if it don't work, get a divorce. I mean, me personally, I'm like, I wouldn't get married. There's no divorce. I don't believe in like divorce, or let's try this, and if it don't work, nah, it's forever. So with that being said, let me ask you, when it comes to relationships not working, what do you feel is the main reason relationships don't work?
Communication. Communication is the biggest. When there's no communication, there's no honesty. Because if we not talking like that, or we not communicating like, hey, babe, I'm about to do this, or hey, babe, I'm feeling like this because of this reason, or she's saying the same thing, it's not gonna work. But when you know you grown, you're adults, y'all can have adult conversation. And it's always gonna be that person that struggle with communication. That's cool. That's where the other person teach them how to communicate. A lot of people say, man, you gotta get in a relationship. You gotta know how to communicate before you get in a relationship. It's some things you're not doing right. You're not picking up your towels. You're not folding clothes when you get done. Everybody got something they can correct. That's why I say that you gotta come together. When one person not do something, you teach them. I'm big on communication. I'm not gonna leave until we communicate. Because I look at this here. If I'm gonna love you today and tomorrow, why not express the concern right now? Don't go into tomorrow with attitudes. That's what happens. Attitude prolongs. They mad one day, second day, third day, fourth, the whole week went by. They're worried y'all could have been communicating.
Yeah, no, I've been in a situation where I didn't talk damn near 2 weeks, like, just mad. I ain't about to, you know.
I can't do that.
Yeah, like, it eats your, it eats your soul, like, fuck my whole days. And then you start acting, it just gets crazy. So yes, but some people, you know, ego sometimes is just, who's right, who's wrong argument. You know, we stand on it. Communication is big for a man who technically lived by himself. He's 35. He doesn't have to communicate. He does what he wants. He don't answer no one. He checks in with his mom, his dad.
Okay.
He ain't got no kids. For a man like that to come into a relationship and starting out telling, oh, I'm about to go here, or I'm about to do this, or here's why I'm doing this, or here's this. And mind you, this is just the dating phase. This ain't even marriage. Do you feel like that's an easy transition for a man who was really a loner to find love, and now he has to, of course, he might, you know, he's seeking love, but he has to now communicate all his moves and motions. Do you feel like a woman should have grace and give him a grace period to get better at it? You know, because again, he spent 35 years not talking to nobody.
So let me ask you this here. will that man give her grace? Is she had the same situation?
That's a good question.
See, it's
I don't think it's men who. Do you think men are more hell raisers in relationships? I always feel like it's women that be raising hell.
No, so it can be vice versa because like it can be a man like that, it can be a woman like that. I would ask myself, will you be okay if the person you talk to do the same thing? Second thing is always be around, try to date somebody or court somebody who have good understanding and who want to get to know you more than the physical you, the inside you. Because the reason why some people move at a calculated step. You know, some people do it like this, some people do it like this. And if you're in a relationship, you really want to be with this person. I sit back and I'm very observant, so I sit back and observe before I bring anything to somebody. Because I don't go somewhere with 50% of the facts. I go with 100% of the facts. Hey, I know you do this here. You know, it's a particular reason. Oh, this and the third. I've been doing it for the last 15 years. Oh, that's cool. Now, yourself, you get a chance to say, okay, can I deal with this? Or I can help them change from this? You know, it's a different situation, but saying like, hey, man, let me tell you something, because the older generation be like, man, this is who I am. I'm still like this. It is what it is. I don't like that. I don't like that type. I'm the type of person, like, if you love somebody, if you want to be better, this is what you want to do, either they can adapt to it or try to change it.
Yeah, it's funny because the old generation, you know, women couldn't work. Women had to just sit at home, take care of kids. And now you're having women who are coming into relationships as the breadwinner. And that's a new navigation where I've seen a situation now to where I have a female I know who she makes 100, 6 figures. She's good in life, trips, travels, but her dude is an entrepreneur. And he's in, it's not his season right now. He's trying to figure it out. And she's trying to give him his timing, but she's even looking at it like, I'm thinking about moving on from this because it's, I know what I want for my life. I do want a marriage, and women have their, their white picket fence, but a dude also have his dream. So should there be a median? And I guess it goes back to communication, but should there be a median in like, all right, I'm chasing my dream. I know I'm broke. And this woman, should she like carry a dude?
I like the movie Acrimony, you got to be careful what you ask for. But I say this here. If she knew he was chasing his dreams before it got this far,
yes,
I would stick with it. Because you can always make more money, but you can never give time back. So watch what you give time to. If you don't give this man this much time, why sacrifice? Listen, obedience is great. And sacrifice, why sacrifice everything unless it's an abusive relationship, it's different. But if this man passionate and dedicated to his vision, to his purpose, then some judgment need to be made. And I'm gonna go on her side as well. Okay, the gentleman who chasing a dream, no income coming, you need to find some way to at least bring an extra $500 a month. Is she meet you halfway to still make this work? You gotta do the same thing as well. Because we don't go being an entrepreneur is not easy. Being an entrepreneur is not for the weak. But you gotta find a way how to maneuver, man. You gotta find a different hustle to meet your hustle to sustain out here. So I see it both ways, Now, if it's something that where y'all been together, he just started this here, that's the same thing too. Like, hey, you have a talk about it. That's why I say communication is important. And
I think it's horrible, or it gets horrible whenever your manhood is diminished based on finances. Like, y'all out to eat and, they bring you the bill. You at a restaurant, they're going to bring you the bill.
Yep.
I think they're getting better to put in the middle, but they're normally bring it to the man.
Yeah.
And then he slides up to the girl, and then she might say something out of spite because he's still trying to get to the money. And that's at that moment to where it's like, as a man, it becomes demeaning when your woman puts that on you, because at that moment she's frustrated. Might be the time of the month, I don't know. But she's frustrated in that moment. She might say something as a man that, it stings us a little different when we know we can't fix it right then and there. And we tune to shut off. We tune to maybe even leave and say, I'm done. Yeah. And should a man stick it out when a woman is frustrated for a man trying to pursue a dream?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, man,
come on, ladies.
Yes, of course. Like, if she pursuing her dream, he the breadwinner. Yeah, let her pursue her dream. She won't go to college. Do what you got to do for her to go to college. Like, I see it both ways in a way where, like, that's why I go back to, like, don't date or be with somebody based on potential of requirements. So that help them understand who you are. But if you dating somebody you really don't know, it could be honest with you, you'll really get to know somebody until 2 or 3 years later. A person show you something in the first 6 months, they show you something different in the next 6 months. So it's about dating is about taking chances.
Man, you jumped in at 1 month in.
But but everybody, like, I'm very, like, I learned how to be intentional.
Yeah.
Like, I don't play with this. If I'm gonna give like, I'm big on time. My wife will tell you, he don't play with his time. I don't give my time to something because I can never get time back. So I watch what I give time to. So if it doesn't benefit me, benefit me no way, I can't give time to it. So if I'm with my wife, we talking every day. We talking to God, we talking every day. We being intentional, we praying, we doing this and the third. And that was gonna make the dream work. You know, they say happy wife, happy life. No, happy house, happy spouse.
Correct.
You know, so.
With that being said, I got to get your take on it. Joe Biden just dropped out.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is now he endorses Kamala Harris. What are your thoughts on a Kamala Harris at this stage in the game running the free world, running America, running the United States? Do she have a chance at presidency?
Everything politics. I won't say she don't have a chance. I really don't like speaking on politics. Because
I stepped over religion, relationships, and politics.
No, it's good. Like, everybody had their own belief and concern about it, what they want and who they want.
Would you?
The other day I prayed, I asked God, I said, Lord, you know, do what's right, do what's best. Because, you know, I look at everybody, you know, from Trump to Harris to Biden, you know, I try to use my discernment, and not everybody gonna be great all the way when they get in office. And we look at just straight voting for the president. We gotta do local. You gotta worry about local. You gotta worry about the Supreme Court. You know, that will make a difference as well as going to who gonna be in the White House. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm you know, I hope Harris.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll say this, man. You know, Charleston White, he was going viral for
I've seen it.
for saying that.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. Come on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, you know, give a woman a chance. And of course, it goes back to what I wanted to talk about black women. Black women, there was I think it was, I forget his name, Columbus Short, who stated this. And I'm going to speak out of context, but it was around this. Black women normally talk down on black men because there wasn't black fathers there, and they saw their mom talk down on either their father or men they're dating. So they kind of learned that from their mothers. Do you believe that statement to be true, that that trait is passed down to daughters and they take that into new relationships that they go into when they talk down on men?
Yeah. Sometimes when you're raised by a single mother and she got to be the man too, she create that mannerism of that you know, and the daughter sees it, how the mama talk, how she comes off, and unintentionally, she create them habits. She'll adopt those habits from her mom. So we can point fingers all day, but truth be told, look at the household. You know, me and my wife had this talk. I you know, like I say, you can't go back and change the past. It's about what you're gonna do in your household now. So my wife have a chance to, and other women, other dudes got a chance to build their household right now for the future generation. But you do see it. You see the behavior. You see the masculinity, the aggressiveness as a woman. I know why I like, and I know why I don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I have a son. I have a black son. You know, I tell him he don't. You know, he got his preference. He don't like the loud talking, the aggressive. He don't like that. You know, so and I'm not faulting the ladies who's like that. I believe there's some type of therapy you can go to help adjust that situation, or who she might find a guy who really is interested in her and help her come out of it, because we all need a help me somewhere. And I'm not gonna say she a bad, you can't date her, she a bad woman because she's a little aggressive, she got a mouth on her. There's a reason. Buddy, you ain't perfect neither. So it's your preference. Then go back to requirement. Like I said, you date off requirement, not potential.
There you go. For those that either, you know, whether it's mental health, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, should they look to social media for motivational speaking? Should they maybe Google motivational speakers on YouTube, come to your channel. Should that be something that people do on a daily, or either therapy, counseling? Should they go seek? And I'm just speaking to your profession. To be on the internet, giving motivational speeches to the masses. I don't want to say motivational, but speaking to the masses.
Yeah.
Would you suggest that everyone probably finds something like that to do versus holding stuff in and not letting it out, or not listening to, like you said, some people don't have no one to look up to. Should they seek some type of something?
Yeah, we're a new day and age, man. We're a new time era. Utilize all your resources, like social media. If you got a job, somebody, an older woman who been through what you went through, or older cat that been through what you've been through, you utilize every resource you have, not only social media. But excuses only sound best to the person making it up. A lot of people say they don't want to change because they got so many excuses. So if you don't want to be better, you don't want help, just say it. But if you really want to be better, if you utilize all your resources, you're going to get to the main source.
Man, that's real. So speaking on it, talk that talk, George. Outside of online, you're also in person. You have, is it tours you go on, or?
Yeah, so my last one I did was in Houston. I'm thinking about doing another one as well. I do music with it as well. So a lot of artists reach out to me for intros and outros and things like that for their song. So I have a song that I haven't released yet. It's my song called Pray For Me, feature Roj, which is NBA Youngboy artist, and OG3, which is NBA Youngboy brother.
Yeah.
I had that song I haven't put out yet. Did one with Bobby Smurda that haven't put out yet. I had different artists reach out to me. I'm just working. I want to be doc. I don't put myself in a box. I can do everything from motivation speaking to intros and outros, commercial, movie. I can shift my voice while I'm behind that mic, while I'm behind that camera. I turns it on. And that's the gift that God gave me. And that's why I tell people, man, when you in your purpose, don't chase that money. Chase that gift. It's the gift's gonna make room for you. So, and I see a lot of people try to mimic what I do. And I tell people, be true to who you are. Who you're not, you can never be. And I understand a lot of people want to be a speaker because it looks fun, but they don't see the work I put in. They don't see the obedience and the sacrifice I made, to be here. I gave up a lot of stuff, man. I sacrificed, and my wife right there with me. I was obedient to the calling. Many are called, a few are chosen. And God don't call to qualify, he qualified to call. And I was called and I was chosen. And that's why I'm able to talk the way I do. Why people will reach out to me like they do. They're like, man, this dude real. Like from the NBA players to the football players to the artists, actors, actresses, it's just been outstanding, been true to your calling, because not everybody grabbed my attention. I don't listen to everybody. Not saying what they saying not good, but it don't penetrate my spirit. If I don't listen to somebody, it's gonna be like Inky Johnson. That's my guy, Inky Johnson, Trent Shelton, different people, so be true to your call. Eric Thomas, Les Brown, be true to your calling.
There you go. Do you plan on becoming an author, putting it to paper?
Man, everything.
Okay.
When I say everything, I'm changing. I had an interview not too, maybe a year and a half ago. I said, man, I want to change the dynamic of a motivation speaker. And I did that.
That's real.
You can't get on Instagram while hearing somebody saying, talk that talk, George. You see it on my hat, I brand myself, and I want to show people, no matter where you came from. It don't matter what you're going through. You can be who God called you to be.
Man. With that being said, for those that do want to follow, for those that do want to get at you, if you don't mind, tell them how to follow you, tell them on the platform what to type in.
You can follow me on Instagram at I am George White the Speaker. Same thing on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You can Google me, George White the Speaker. Once you Google me, it'll show everything. You'll see all my motivation albums, the most powerful albums you'll hear. I guarantee you, it changed your life. That's the reason why a lot of people streaming it now. So reach out to me. I'm gonna talk that talk. Turn them up, George. Big dog.
Let's go. Man, any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to my brother K Swan, my brother Jess the Messenger, my wife, my kids, my sister, my brother-in-law, and everybody who continue to rock with me. And shout out to the people who follow me, who support me, who buy the merch, who share it. It wouldn't be no big dog. It wouldn't be no me if it wasn't for the people who follow me and continue to share my content, who engage with my content. So I'm thankful. I'm forever thankful.
And I want to give a big
and
shout
glory
out
to the Most High,
Nah, definitely. And I want to definitely give a big shout out to Desi, man. Desi Brown, who put us together.
Yes.
He said he definitely jumped in your life, assisting you to get out here. And again, we're only as big as the team we have around us. And
Exactly.
that's one dude who, in this city, has made sure a lot of dots got connected. And I'm only thankful to, have him have that brief introduction to have you right here, right now.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Desi, man. I appreciate you, my brother.
Nah, definitely, man. With that being said, we got to say it, man. George White, the speaker, man, you are a real life street star. Salute that.
Yeah, appreciate it, big dog.
Let go.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move. Hey.